three here on this Sunday. Again, thanks for being here. As always, appreciate it here on the Red Out Sunday Night Spectacular. I figured we're talking Tron. Let's just keep it red like we did back on Thursday night. Appreciate the artistic value you're getting from this channel, please. Tron ARES bombing is our topic, and here are your top 3 reasons why this film bombed this past weekend. I think you have to look at the face that you see staring at you, aside from me, Jared Leto. This is a guy who has not had a great deal of box office success over his career. Let's bring up his numbers page, the alt box office site, and they do a good job with his films as far as anything he appeared in and what the highest grossing of those is. Did you say Suicide Squad? If you did, you were correct. At $749 million back in 2016 when movies were still going off. Now, Suicide Squad would be lucky to get to $250 million. I'm not kidding. Tell me I'm wrong. That's $500 million under where it was in 2016 because movie-going is eroding quickly. His number 2 film, Blade Runner 2049, $259 million worldwide on that. And that had a very similar opening to Tron. Almost identical. Low 30 millions. And the film only gets to $259 million. Blade Runner 2049 was a very disappointing film for Warner Brothers. So now we have Jared Leto hoping to get to $250 million with Tron. So there's certainly a turnoff factor when you look at this. You go back to Morbius. This is under Morbius. Of course, Morbius is part of the Spider-Man universe, so that helped that film. Not a good film. Jared Leto has been in some bad films, and there's some off-the-field baggage. Him and underage girls. Go look it up. We're not talking about all that tonight. But there's a lot of stuff going on with Jared Leto. I don't think he's the problem here. I think he's, obviously, we talked about this on Thursday, good-looking dude, okay? You cannot deny that. He looks great for his age. He's GQ, but he's always got that bohemian look too. But he's not someone who puts asses in seats. Typically, people seem to bitch about Jared Leto, and that's what you saw with Tron ARES this week. A lot of people saying, I'm not seeing this because of him. So obviously, that's one of the reasons. That's not the number one reason. That's our third most impactful reason as to why Tron tanked this weekend. Number 2 really could be number 1. Obviously, whenever a film misfires like this, you have to ask, did anyone want another X? In this case, was anybody really jonesing, old school word, for another Tron? The last one in 2010 got to 400 million plus worldwide, but this marketplace is not 2010. This marketplace is hurting in 2025. We're having way more underperforming films or outright bombs than runaway successes. And that is very troubling. But when you come up with a film and budget it at $180 million, you better know that people really want to see another Tron. And Disney really didn't know that. They said, hey, what if we make this big 3D 9-inch nail scored extravaganza that we can sell as an IMAX must, right? That was the pitch. People are familiar with the IP going back to Gen X. When I was a kid going to see Tron, not that successful at the box office, but the arcade game, one of the biggest ever to ever hit Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz Pizza. For those of you old schoolers. But I understand at some level how that meeting went. I just don't like the budget of $180 million. I would say bring it in at 100. Scale the movie back. Make the movie about Tron, ARES in this case, coming out of the game and make it Barbie-ish so we don't have to do so many effects. And then maybe at the end we have the hunt in the city with the effects so we can keep that budget lower, right? Some way to mitigate the risk of making this film. Again, the stuff you're getting tonight is why we're the gold standard. You're getting stuff that you would get inside of a board meeting tomorrow down the street at Disney. Every other studio, for that matter, talking about what went wrong because they have to figure this out. And I'm helping them out. Number one is a real issue that we have brought up so many times over the past several months, I would say going on a year now. The economic issues that the average person is facing is making them far more selective in the movies they want to see. And the problem that Hollywood's had far too often lately is films that are not great. Hell, good. Tron passes the bar of at least being, I think, worthy of your time due to the visual and that score. From a screenplay, from a, as we like to say, cinematically erect standpoint, no. But it's enough. But audiences need more than enough because they've been burned lately a lot. When you look at the films that have come out over the past several months, they have all been underwhelming. Look no further than Superman, Jurassic World, Weapons, hellaciously overrated. 28 years later, one of the worst films of the year. You see a pattern? These films are not living up to the expectations that are had of said film. And Tron is another one of these. It's better than the ones I mentioned, but that's still not enough. So when you're hurting to pay bills, you're not going to drag your family to AMC Regal Cinemark and pay $100 or more to watch a movie with admissions and popcorn and drinks for the kids. And Tron is a 4-quad film. Listen, little kids don't want to see it, but there's nothing objectionable really in it. You could definitely take a family to see Tron. No issue with that for me. So it just didn't happen because the kids weren't interested. The demos were very low on younger audiences because they're like, and listen, I wasn't even around for Tron Legacy. That's 15 years ago. If you're a 16-year-old, you barely remember it. You might watch it on video, but, I mean, Legacy wasn't some runaway smash. $400 million back then is like, right? Movies now, $400 million is like, oh, my God. And then, as we know, the dollar's devalued, so you're looking at the erosion of worth of cash, and it's even more problematic to see what's happening now because they're not doing the admissions now that they did in 2010. Even if you just went dollar for dollar because of the inflation calculator, it's way fewer people are going to the movies. So that's the issue. And then certainly part of this being selective is the Disney brand, right? We all know that the Disney brand is dragged more than any in Hollywood. People are not thrilled what the Mouse House has done to so many properties over the years. Don't make me list them all. We know that they have fucked a lot of stuff up. No one's going to argue that. And that comes back eventually to bite you when people say, I'm done. I don't want to do this again. You have lost me as a customer. And Disney has done just that. So we have this convergence of all of these really awful factors that bring us to tonight with another film bombing in Tron. But, big 50,000 foot view of this from a movie lover perspective is that the entire market is in dire shape right now. One of our evaluations tonight is Roofman, film I really like, only opened to 8 million. Okay? Not great. That's under expectations for that film. You had last week, Smashing Machine, bombing. This week dropped even further. I mean, the tent poles aren't working. The small films are still getting buried. This is not a good forecast for the multiplex. And that's why I tell you that you're going to have fewer options of movie theaters in the very, very near future. You're going to have to drive further. I don't have to worry about it. Got the number one AMC in the world down the street from me. It's not going anywhere. Every film has pretty much its highest PTA per theater average at AMC Burbank. So, hello, I'm in LA. Movie lovers everywhere. But you in Indianapolis, Phoenix, Dallas, Tulsa, my hometown, Columbus, Ohio, wherever you are, across the globe, you're going to have fewer options because this continues and it's not getting better anytime soon. There's really no way to fix it at this point. And that sucks. We tried giving some reasons and suggestions for how we can turn this around last week, but I just am losing so much faith in all of this right now. And that sucks from a movie lover perspective. I don't want to talk politics. I want to talk about woke, anti-woke. I'm just talking about the experience of going to a movie theater, the lights go down, and you communally experiencing that moment with others. Hopefully respectful others who don't try to beat you up when you tell them, shut up, like we saw at Boston Common. But listen, that's an issue too. We talked about that a few weeks back. Luckily here, I don't deal with that, but you probably do more so because LA is very respectful. The people are in the industry. They don't mess around here when it comes to movie going. And that is a blessing. I'm aware of that. And the options are great. So all of this tonight is it's a dour mood, man. Sorry. I'm going to try to uplift it here because here's the deal. Tonight, I've got not one, not two. I've got 3 MMT evaluations that I am all recommending. I don't think this has ever happened in the history of this channel that we've ever had 3 films that I'm like, yes, let's do it. These are the ones I want you to see. And we're going to start tonight with the one that I think you need to see now. I really like this film. This is Paramount's Roofman. It is time for the MMTE. Let's get a taste. 30 seconds of Channing Tatum's latest.
Jeffrey Manchester. I robbed 45 McDonald's.
Good morning, team.
And I've been living in a toy store for 6 months.
Authorities everywhere are on the hunt for the Roofman.
But that wasn't even the crazy part.
You're not good at being a criminal. Oops. You got to cover your tracks.
He's a very smart individual, but he really captures him.
Good luck.
Bang, Roofman. Here we go. This is a very easily accessible film. When I was watching this, I was super involved from the get-go. Easily consumed. And that's never a bad thing. This is going to take any effort from you to understand this based on a true story tale of this dude who robbed McDonald's and then hid out in a Toys R Us. So that is always a welcome thing when I recommend a film, because when we talk about one of the films I'm recommending in just a bit after The Hunt, no, complete opposite of what I'm talking about. It's going to take a lot of bandwidth, a lot of patience. This film does not require that. Roofman is easy drinking. I also like that this film is faith-based, has a good heart. Now, it's not faith-based, right? Traditionally like a Fireproof, the Kirk Cameron epic. But it has moments in church. It has a really sweet heart. You know, we talk about that often. The films that I resonate with have a good soul. Like a film like Terrifier is just dark evil, right? I know that's what's doing, but it just bounces off me because I'm a force of light. I just am. I know I am, right? If there's ever a time where it's like the forces of light battle the forces of darkness, I'm 100% going to be one of the head fighters for the forces of light. It's who I am. It's how I was born. It's how I'm created. So when I watch a film like this, I just feel it, right? Internally, almost in my soul, that this is made by somebody in Derek Cianfrance who is similar. And I look at Derek Cianfrance as a director, and I go back to Place Beyond the Pines, Blue Valentine. You look at what he's done. He is so skilled at delivering grounded characters and grounded screenplays and making those characters very real. If I was an actor, I'd want to work with Derek Cianfrance because he gets the best out of his talent. And that is a testament to Derek Cianfrance because some directors don't do that. They don't direct actors to the best of their ability. But I can tell from these films that I'm watching when I see a Channing Tatum having a career best that he's working with a talent that gets the very best out of him. And if you ask me about Channing Tatum here and compare him to other performances I've seen this year, one of the best actor performances of 2025. He's perfect for this film. And I also really like Kirsten Dunst here. The chemistry between these two, perfection. Very natural. She's very sweet in this film. He is too, even though he's robbing McDonald's and crime. He's a criminal. But it doesn't matter because he imbues the character with a good soul. And she does too. And that works. And I think the other thing that you're not hearing from anybody about this film, and this always is big for me, the aesthetic of the film. In particular, shot on film. Cianfrance, go back to the films I mentioned before, particularly Place Beyond the Pines. I love the look of that film. I love the grounded, just gritty look of that. And this has that same feel and aesthetic. And that matters, man. If you're a filmmaker, you need to watch films like Roofman, Place Beyond the Pines. Obviously, even after the one we're going to talk about here in a minute, they're shot on film. They're shot with care. That stuff means more than you think. And when you watch a Roofman, a lot of people are just going to glance right over that. And shooting on film and giving it that naturalistic, old school film look is priceless. It adds to the experience, and I'm giving this a 92%. You need to see Roofman. One of the best films of the year. So, one down, one big thumbs up. Let's talk about Oscar opportunities here. When you look at Roofman, it's going to be challenging for Paramount to get this into Best Picture. Certainly director, that's not going to happen this year. Even though I think Cianfrance does a really strong job here. The best play for Paramount here would be screenplay and Channing Tatum, Kirsten Dunst supporting. I think you should be able to get all three of those. So let's make that happen. Let's do the right thing. Let's vote on merit, okay? And let's get that done. Roofman, thumbs up. If you had a chance to see it, come in and tell me. I will do me a huge favor if you go see this. I will be very happy. That's all I really want is you guys to see good films. That's what I want out of this channel. It's not about views, likes, subs. It's about trying to have you go see things that I think are worthy of your time. And that matters. Coach, with a super chat, thank you so much on this Sunday night. For the hacks in this industry that watch Weber's show, you suck. Weber and I should have your jobs because you're seriously untalented and very stupid. Well, listen, we're the gold standard, Coach. You know that, right? I mean, we are. I say this all the time, but I really mean that. I think what you just watched, even that right there, this is live, by the way. I want to make that very clear. We are not re-racking this and starting over. This show is always live. It's in the moment. Sometimes I miss some stuff. I wish I would have. It is what it is, okay? And I try to deliver the best experience every time. I can't guarantee it, but that's the beauty of what we do here, is that it's a tightrope act. And most people would never even venture out on the tightrope. And let me just say this to you guys, and I mean this, that life is not meant to be living without risk. You need to take risk. You need to be fearless. You need to say, fuck it, let's do it. Because you get one go around that I know of. And you better make it count. And that's another big takeaway here on this Sunday night. A couple more super chats I see in here. Let me get to them. I'm by myself tonight, so I'm going to do the comments and I'm going to do the evaluations because that's how I operate. Johnny, thank you for the super chat. Let's get to you. I almost feel like marketing sold Roofman short. The poster makes it look like a standard comedy, but many moments were emotionally gut-wrenching. I saw the poster when I came out, Johnny. Interesting you say that because I thought the same thing. It's hard to market a movie like Roofman nowadays because in the past you say, hey, look at the reviews. The reviews are like 84%. I can't believe it's not higher on Rotten Tomatoes. But it's just difficult to get people to go to a movie theater to see something that looks like I can watch this on Netflix, Amazon Prime, streaming, whatever you want to choose for your outlet. This is the world we live in now. That's the challenge, is how do we get people to say, I'm going to go check this out? But listen, I also understand that it is cost prohibitive for a lot of people. That's why I recommend AMC A-List. You cannot go wrong with AMC A-List at $28 a month for 4 movies a week. Can't beat that, man. You just can't beat that deal. All right, let's do MMT evaluation number 2 tonight. It is After the Hunt. This is going to be a really interesting discussion here. I look forward to talking about this film because you've been told this is not a good film. I am going to make a strong case for the other side. This is a very, very, I would argue, spellbinding at times film. Flawed, but very recommended. It's After the Hunt. 30 seconds, and then we get into it.
You should be ready.
Ready for what?
What are you saying happened?
It crossed the line.
But what actually happened?
Utter fabrication. Did you know anything about this?
I did not do this. You did this to yourself.
Am I not owed this?
I am a desperate man, absolutely desperate.
I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with you anymore.
Not everything is supposed to make you comfortable.
After the
Love that line, right? This film really drills down on that. The Gen Z, we've got to have our safe spaces and everything offends us. The stuff we talk about all the time here on MMT. So when I realized that's what we're doing here, I was super engrossed. I was all up in this film. And I think it's very important that you're in the right mindset to view this. This is dense. This is going to take a lot of bandwidth. And you cannot be leisurely watching this. You've got to be plugged in After the Hunt for this film to work. But one of the things you're going to see, and you always see out of Luca, is that singular directorial imprint. A film like this, directed by a directorial hack, is just not going to work. What makes this film better than it should be is the flourishes artistically that he puts on this film. He did in Queer. He did in Challengers, obviously. He did in Suspiria. He did in Call Me By My Name. Call Me By Your Name. You look at all of this, and you look at his skill set, and it's very unique. And you see it here throughout this film. So I don't want to brush over that and pretend that doesn't matter. It always matters. And if you don't understand the impact of that, then we got to get you better educated, man. You got to see these things. But again, like I said, it's hyper intellectual. The screenplay is dense. The dialogue is a lot to get through at times. And if you are just cursorily watching this, you are going to be in trouble. Okay? You're not going to like it. Because the pacing is at times challenging. It's long-winded. Notice I've had challenging multiple times here. It is. I mean, there's no arguing that. The scenes run over long. Several of them. But again, the creation of character is so strong here, which everybody here, including Andrew Garfield, who's great. But Julia Roberts, I think, is one of her best roles, if not the best ever. Very Lydia Tarr-esque. Similar. A lot of these characters are flawed, unlikable, in some cases unredeemable. That's challenging for some people, right? Who do I root for? Who cares, man? Just watch a film. Get into it. I love the Yale setting, too. I'm 99% sure they shot at Yale because it looks like it's really there. Okay. As you guys may or may not know, Social Network was not allowed to be shot at Harvard. You get shots on the outside that they ripped off. I believe that Fincher said he's on top of the roof there at Harvard Square and he's guerrilla shooting that because Harvard said you can't do it. I'm pretty sure by watching this film that this thing shot at Yale. So Luca got that permission, and that matters, okay? Listen, man, if you're going to shoot a movie that takes place at Yale, I want to see Yale. I want to see the restaurants that the people go to. I want to see what life looks like in there, that setting. And this film captures that. That's a big part of this. You see, man, these are the things no one else talks about. Why? Oh, do you guys understand how frustrating it is to exist in a space with people that don't see this shit? I'm telling you, man, it's like having night vision goggles on with some of these things. Some people just don't see this stuff. They don't get it. They don't get the impact of Luca's directorial flourishes and the setting being at Yale and in New Haven. These things matter. They fucking matter. And I'm tired of these people that don't understand this shit. It was boring. Anyone who says that, just get rid of them. Just get them out of your life. They're not worth listening to. They're just not. They're not thoughtful. They're not deep soul thinkers. This film requires you to do that. But there's nothing wrong with working when you watch a film. Check it out. 88%. A lot better than you've been told. Look, let's go to the Rotten Tomatoes page. Look, you want to see the reviews? 43%. It's terrible. You would think it's an awful movie, right? That's the thing with Rotten Tomatoes. Well, look, Tomato Meter has it at 43%. No, dude, no. One of the best films of the year. Not a perfect film. I told you guys that. But, oh man, no, not rotten. Oh, Alyssa Wilkinson again. One of the worst. It was Alyssa Wilkinson at Vox, right? Alyssa chin-stroking Wilkinson who speaks for no one. Welcome back to the show, Alyssa. This is a good film. This is one of the best films of the year. Not a perfect film, but one of the best films of the year. It's certainly better than Sinners. It's better than Weapons. Okay? I know I'm right. I don't need to be validated from these other critics because God knows they're not very good. Honestly, guys, there's no one better than me. I'm just going to say, I said it before, I don't care. I'll say it again. There's no one in this space who is better than I am. Not one person. I don't care who you say, they're not better. Because no one is objective as me. Nobody. You're never going to find it. And also, they have a political agenda. Imagine coming into these things with a political agenda. It's going to destroy you. Your credibility is going to go in like a second because you can't do things with an agenda. You can't watch these things with agenda. Listen, this doesn't really have an agenda because it's not really left or right. But it does have a lot to say about cancel culture and accusations, how that affects everyone involved. What's the truth situation? We don't really know. So it's not as clear cut as a lot of you might like, but there's nothing wrong with that. I like a film that doesn't give me all of the answers. Let me consider it. Let me think on it. Let me not have an answer. You don't have to always have an answer. Sometimes the answer is, I don't know. What do you think? That's not bad. All right, let's do MMTE number 3 tonight. And then I'll get to your comments. We'll watch a trailer. And we'll be up on an hour. We're already 30 minutes. Look at this. 30 minutes in. All by myself. With barely a break. Only for like 30 seconds. Well, guess what? Here's another 30-second break. This is a taste of Urchin. And another very small film. Well, actually, way smaller than After the Hunt. Certainly smaller than Roofman. This film is limited right now. We'll discuss whether you should see it or not. Harris Dickinson's directorial debut. Here's a taste of Urchin.
What do you think we live for?
Get up.
Hello.
Is there something you'd like to express?
Okay, so you can see this is a very indie-ish A24 neon type of film. I don't even know who the distributor on this was. I was like, what? He came up, I'm like, who? That's how small this is. But Harris Dickinson, you guys know from Triangle and also from, I never saw Baby Girl, but I love this guy. He's got just a really good look. I think he used to be a former model, right? Triangle of Sadness. I think he plays a model, right? Or the boyfriend of the model. But I'm pretty sure he was at one time. He's got that look. But this is his directorial debut, and I like a lot of it. But there are some issues. It's basically the story of this dude whose life is a disaster. He's essentially homeless at the beginning, trying to rebuild himself. He's an addict. So it's grounded, all that stuff that I like. But there are some things that I would clean up. What I like is the life on the margins. Anyone that shows me a film about someone who's struggling and it's not glamorous and it makes you feel gritty and kind of grimy, I like those films. Good time. I mean, look, perfect example. But you go back to me, and I mention this a lot, the Dardenne brothers and L'Enfant. L'Enfant, very similar in feel to this film. Now, I think it's not as strong as that film because I think what you're missing here that I really wish were present is it's got a very generic aesthetic. And I think Harris will figure that out, right? Sometimes that's maybe the last thing. Sometimes it's the first thing. You look at a Rose Glass and you go back and you look at her first film, which was my favorite film of 2021. When you look at that, you're looking at someone who has a vision and can deliver the aesthetic from the get-go. And St. Maud had that. But when you look at this film, it doesn't have that. It looks kind of generic. And that is an issue for me. Go back to what I said about Roofman and After the Hunt. The aesthetic of a film is crucial for me. Very. Now, if the film's unwatchable, then yeah, okay. But if you give me a very strong cinematic aesthetic, even for a film that doesn't have a big budget, it's an indie kind of thing, but it's got that bigger feel to it, and it's got shot on film, I'm going to give it a higher grade. But that's not, listen, that's nitpicking, but it's fair. I think it's there. It needs to be discussed. This kid in this Frank Delane, never seen him. My God, he's great. One of the best performances of the year in Urchin. The dude rebuilding his life. Gets a job as a cook. Stays at a hostel because he's on the streets. But then, of course, like any addict, it all comes crashing down. Typically. So this film goes through that. But what I wish this film had was more of that L'Enfant grounded, gritty direction. And also just overall, you get into some surreal aspects here at the end of this film that kind of take you out, right? Turns into a First Reform kind of thing, right? You guys saw that film, right? Anything at the end that you start to lose it and we start to get into some kind of supernatural strange shit. I think Harris overplayed his hand. But for a directorial debut, I'm impressed. I give it an 80%. Listen, you don't need to run out to see this, but I recommend it for Frank Delane's performance alone. That alone should buy you a ticket, or at least at some point, to watch Urchin. All right, guys, open comments. Let's get to as many as I can, and I will then watch a trailer. I don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll decide. We'll vote for a trailer, and Weber will react live because that's all I am. I just do what you guys tell me to. It's not at all what this channel is. I do what I fucking want, and you guys have to either accept it or not. The door's over there. Hit eject. It doesn't matter to me, honestly. Which is so, right? Think how weird that is. You guys, if you ever watch anybody who has any kind of content, they're like, subscribe. Oh, I'd appreciate it. It helps the algorithm. If I'm like, fuck off. You want to watch it, watch it. I don't really care. But it's true. Listen, I'm not really telling you to F off, but I am saying that I don't validate the channel or anything I do based on views, likes, subs. It just doesn't matter to me. I've never produced a stream or a reaction, review, evaluation ever in the anticipation of an outcome. The facts are the facts. The reality cannot be swayed based on, maybe it'll be better if I say this is bad or this is good. You know how people do that? You have no idea the number of people who do that. They're all driven by how will this be received. Maybe it's better. Like we drag that guy, Soy Boy, right? Soy Boy, his whole thing, that's his name. I don't care what his real name on YouTube is. Soy Boy. That guy's all about, this is woke and this is awful. And look here, Disney's having another bad day. And oh, look at us. We're so tribal. Boring. I have no interest in that kind of content because I already know what you're going to say. When you come on MMT, you don't know what I'm going to say. You probably thought I was going to destroy After the Hunt and say Roofman isn't as good as you've been told. And Urchin's unwatchable. Not 3 winners tonight. Varying shades, but still, that's what I bring to the table. You never know. I told you that story about the director who came into my DMs. He said, the one thing I give you a lot of credit for, I never know what you're going to say about a movie. That's why we're the gold standard. Because that is authentic. That is priceless. Objectivity, most people don't have that. They can have agendas, certainly. Most people do. I don't. My agenda is what's the right answer. So that's it. I mean, it's simple. You guys should know that by now. Let's get to as many comments as possible. I'll get to super chats. I promise if I do. He-Man movie is kind of screwed. Going back to Tron, pull that back up. He's going to be in He-Man. Jared Leto. Now, he's not He-Man, but he's Skeletor. Now, I have to assume the Skeletor is going to have the Skeletor face. So we're not going to really see Jared Leto. So it doesn't matter, right? Yes, I watched the He-Man cartoon when I was a kid. I don't think I ever had a He-Man doll. I was just a little bit too old for that. But I have the Tron figure. Remember, guys? So there's Sark and there's the blue one, Tron. Yeah. I mean, listen, I have, and they have their discs. So don't question me if I was a geek when I was a kid. These are authentic. I didn't just buy these from eBay. These are from 1982 from like Super X Drugs in Columbus. Maybe it was Children's Palace, one of our toy stores. Lionel's Kitty City. I don't remember. We also had Kitty Corner. All those. Dolph Lundgren He-Man movie is campy fun. It is. You know what's funny? It was on YouTube. It was a free, one of their movies they run for free. And sometimes they have some good things on there. Glenn Ross was on there like a few weeks ago. Did you guys ever tell me you've seen Glenn Ross? What a film. Oh my God. The end of that film, I can watch that over and over, where Lemon finally realizes he's screwed, right? He's screwed. And then Al Pacino doesn't know. And Pacino's like, hey, let's go get lunch. And he's like, oh, a minute. And he's like, I'm going to make you my partner. If he just would have held out for another 24 hours, right? You talk about finishes, okay? I love the finish of, oh man, you were so close, but yet everything just got effed, okay? Look at Glenn Ross, and let's go ahead and tie that into The Mist. If you just would have waited just a little bit longer, it all would have been better. But no, instead, it's over. Isn't that great? Those are my kind of movies. You have a sealed Thank you. Brass balls, I would say so. You're me? I thought you were talking about me here, young writer. But yes, it's amazing. Yeah, always be closing. 100%. I like that you guys like the red. Listen, we have different options, right? I mean, we have the traditional. We've got the old school. Let me find it. I've got all my stuff here somewhere. Hold on. I got to put it on. I can push buttons and make it come on. Okay, we have the Midnight Money background. Okay. We have the old school. This is the one you usually see. Okay. I also brightened it. This will be another option. And then, of course, we have the red here tonight. I'm kind of liking the red, too, because I can still wear pink. But you see, these are guys. Do you understand that the streaming aesthetic here is like shot on 16 millimeter? Do you understand? Do you get where we're going here on this channel? No one can compete. We are so far out in front. We are the people's champion. We're the gold standard, and you guys damn well know it. Do not pretend you do not. I'm tired of having this conversation with you. All right, let's watch a trailer. I'll get to as many comments as possible. I think I have one selected. And then we're going to talk about, yes, Diane Keaton, some clips lined up, Annie Hall. And listen, I know some of you are like, you're going to play a Woody Allen? Dudes, don't even. Okay, Midnight in Paris is one of my favorite comfort movies. I always go back to Midnight in Paris. So let's not talk about Woody Allen's, when we talk about Annie Hall here tonight. We're going to get to that in a minute, but I do want to watch a trailer. Let's watch Mercy. A lot of you are commenting on this. I don't know anything about Mercy except that Chris Pratt's in it. You all like to drag Chris Pratt. So here we go. Let's watch the trailer for Mercy. Chris Pratt's a good-looking guy. Can we just say that? Is it okay? Let me get rid of it so you guys can see. Hold on. Let me hit it. I got to push the right button. Chris Pratt is very handsome. He is. I don't care if you don't like his politics. He's a handsome guy. Don't argue this with me. Jared Leto, good-looking guy. Chris Pratt, handsome. And guess who's next?
I'm Chris Pratt.
I'm Rebecca.
Rebecca Ferguson, drop dead. Oh, my God. So hot. Like, I have never met Rebecca Ferguson in person, but I might faint. I nearly fainted with Elizabeth Olsen. I think with Rebecca Ferguson, I would just fall over. What happened to that guy? Damn, man. That's your fault, Rebecca. You're and hot.
Ferguson.
You're going to freak out when you see the trailer for our new movie,
Are we?
Mercy.
We're going to find out right now.
What the? Get me out of this chair.
Detective Raven, I'm Judge Maddox, and this is the Mercy Capital Court, a judicial system powered by...
Hey, everybody. It's Minority Report 2. This feels so much like Minority Report, right?
artificial intelligence.
Hold on, just wait a second.
With crime rates soaring, lawmakers voted for Mercy by acting as judge, jury, and executioner.
This is 100% Minority Report. By the way, can we establish that Minority Report's one of the greatest films of all time? Oh, you talk about the best films of the 2000s. Minority Report better be on your list. I hate saying it. It's a pain in the ass. Minority Report. But it is one of the best films, and it still holds up. That's how far ahead that Spielberg was with that film. God, I love Minority Report.
Mercy keeps our city safe.
I shouldn't be here. I helped create the Mercy program. I'm proud to have sent the first
Dude, this is like the same thing, right? In the movie, Tom Cruise helps create, or he's in charge of the precogs. In this case, look, he's a police officer in charge of the AI. It's like the same shit.
For trial here, and I will continue to send more until the message is received.
It's obviously not nearly as good as Minority Report. I mean, just looking at the trailer, you're like, come on, man, what is this? This looks like a streaming-ish movie. I'm sure the budget was probably like $100+ million because Chris Pratt's price tag's very high.
Detective Raven, I know precisely who you are. You're before this court today and charged with...
She's playing AI, right? She's not real, but that's how gorgeous she is. She can play an AI creation because if you didn't know, you'd be like, that's AI. That's not a real person. No one is that pretty. Oh, shit. She's real? Oh, my God.
The murder of your wife.
Oh my God.
Your guilt must fall below the 92% threshold or you will be executed in precise...
Oh, he's crying. This is very interstellar-y.
Sweet.
I'm kidding. It's not.
90 minutes.
Okay, I like the real-time thing, right? You've got 90 minutes and the movie's going to play out. Okay, that's fine. I'm down with that. I like films like that. As long as it doesn't like stall out, then you're like looking at the time going, I've got another hour and 20 minutes. That's never good. Let's hope it flies by. By the way, this is funny. From an Academy Award winning producer of Oppenheimer. Like one random person, because there's lots of producers on films, right? They picked one guy like, hey, can we have you help produce this so we can put this in the title card, in the trailer? That'd be awesome. Yeah, there it is.
I loved my wife. I didn't hurt her.
Detective Raven.
Love the Steve Miller Band.
The city's municipal cloud is at your disposal. Every camera, cell phone, and database. You must gather evidence to exonerate yourself. If you are innocent, prove it.
Okay, so it's like one of these screen things, right? Did you guys ever see, we've talked about this before, a guilty pleasure of mine is Unfriended. Have you guys ever seen that? That's a cool little horror film. It all takes place on the computer. It's neat. I've watched that several times. There's something just eerie about that and quiet because there's no score. I like films that just are real skeletal. And that film is, and I think it really works. Everything's happening on the screen. There's another one that I saw after that, and it was about an ISIS member. What the hell was that called? The guy was scary as hell in that film. It's a not found footage. What do they call that? Like whatever. It's on the screen. On-screen film. And it was about an ISIS guy. Tell me if you remember the name of that. He was awesome in that film. That guy was super scary, frightening as hell.
I need to find out who killed my wife.
It's a classic crime of passion, Chris. And it all points right at you.
Screen life. Thank you.
Trial unless you're guilty.
I didn't hurt Mom. I swear to God. Show me everyone she had contact with. She was seeing someone. How's my guilt looking now?
It has risen to 98%. You just provided me with a strong motive of why you murdered her.
Well, I kind of like that. That was interesting.
Good. Wow. Thank you for that.
Mr. Raven, the clock is ticking.
Tell me what Nick was up to. She was stressed about work.
She said some chemical went missing.
The estimated street value would be in excess of $16 million.
Listen, I like the premise. I think this looks okay. I mean, it's not Minority Report, never will be. But this looks better than a lot of the shit that I sit through. Not tonight. These are 3 winners tonight. So this is a good night for us here on Sunday.
Do you honestly think that I killed my wife? Or were you just programmed wrong? I need to walk the scene. No, I have something here.
This is a terrorist scam.
God, this is so ripping of Minority Report, right? I mean, it's like everything about this looks like that.
Get out. Get out of there.
Mr. Raven, you're running out of time.
Chris, what do you got to do? There's a bomb in that truck.
It's heading downtown.
This was never about my wife. This was about me and you.
Yeah, at times Chris Pratt's like, nah, right. He's okay. I think he's good, like in Moneyball. He's great as Star-Lord, perfect casting. No one could do that better. But there's times, listen, he's not Daniel Day-Lewis.
Get me out of here!
What's surprising about that last shot there, they're going over the new bridge here in LA where the thieves ripped out all the copper. See that? It's like the 6th Street Bridge. So they built this thing and it looks just like that. That's not special effects. I mean, there's probably a little bit going on there because it's obviously CG in there. But they built this bridge in LA and the copper thieves came in and ripped out all the copper, so now there's no lights. I need to go across that bridge. You know what? Maybe I'll do a live stream from the 6th Street Bridge at some point. I want you to know that I did drive over the old 6th Street Bridge. Do you know why? Because when I was creating my Drive 10 years later, I went across the bridge because in the movie Drive, he goes across the bridge and they demolished it. So I said, I got to get on this bridge and drive it. I have lived Drive. I think I've told you guys that. I have lived that movie. Now, I have not run out and, been the getaway driver for thieves. By the way, funny story about Drive. Drive could never happen now. You could never make that movie because one of the rules of that film at the beginning, right? When he throws out, we only have 2 minutes after the burglar alarm. They're like, I got to go, right? He's like in the car timing it. Now you'd have like an hour. Truth be told, the cops wouldn't even come. So you could never make Drive today because you couldn't even use the cops will be here in 2 minutes. The cops are not coming to a burglary. Not in LA. I mean, they might show up at a murder scene. It's questionable. But they're definitely not coming to a warehouse break-in. So all of Drive doesn't work. You don't even need a getaway, guys. Getaway driver, you could just park your car, get out, rob the place, get in and leave. The cops aren't ever going to show up. By the way, for that alone tonight, that analysis, I want some love. I want you to recognize that you are watching the gold standard and no one could come up with what I just came up with. Not even AI. AI couldn't. AI could never do what this show does. Isn't that wild? Like AI could do, certainly Zach Pope, AI could do deep focus lens without question. AI could do the awards guy, whatever his name is, that really boring milquetoast guy. AI could replicate that in a heartbeat. Like AI could do a better job. AI could not do a better MMT than me. That's how singular that this show is. We are better than AI. That's the new tagline for Midnight Movie Talk. So I don't hate this movie. I think that I might actually sort of be movie like this, right? Yeah. I mean, the world is definitely going to hell with AI. And screw AI, by the way. I don't want to watch a movie with AI in it. The last decent Pratt film, well, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't tell me he's not good in that. In Guardians 1's very good film. Okay? And Pratt's good in Moneyball. What else? I mean, what was that one, The Tomorrow War? No, that was not good. That was McDonald's sci-fi, as I called it. Amazon didn't like me for that. That was not a good film. Yeah, I mean, listen, he's bankable. He's in a lot of big movies. He's good in Lego Movie as the voice of Emmett, right? So that's good. Let's see. I think I have one more. Give me one second. Yeah, exactly. Someone's saying facts for the AI. I got one more super chat I want to get to. I don't know who these hacks blew to get the jobs you. Wait a second. Are we talking about me being? Coach? Are we talking about me being a studio head? Because I'd be the best studio head ever. Oh my God. We would turn things around so fast. We would only make good films. I would be so ruthless and brutal to filmmakers. They'd be like, I don't want to go talk to Weber. You will talk. He wants you in his office. This is awful. Why did you make this movie? Like me talking to Ari Aster after watching Beau is Afraid. Holy shit, dude. Why did I give you $30 million for this thing? You just destroyed your career. You definitely destroyed this studio's credibility with this film, Beau is Afraid. So, I mean, dude, just get out of the office. Get out. Leave. Go. Don't come back anytime soon. Even though I think Eddington's way better than Beau is Afraid. Still not a great film. But we need more of that. We need more people that are like, no, this isn't good enough. We don't have that in this world, right? We have, well, it's good enough. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's see what I have. Make sure. Oh, let's do Diane Keaton because I don't want to run out. I was going to do that, and I figure we got to get to it. We're at 56 minutes? How'd this happen? What's going on, man? How does this happen every time? I say I'm going to do an hour, and it's like I'm already at 56 minutes. How is this possible? No one else could do this show the way I do it. Know that. Stop it. Don't, Kuzma. Don't. All right, let's talk about the death of Diane Keaton, 79 years old. Not really that old. I think one thing that I want to talk about just for a moment is how many people we're losing, okay? I don't want to get into the politics. I want to give you exactly what I think of the situation, but I'm just going to tell you that we've had some changes over the past several years, okay? And that should alarm you. That's what I'm going to tell you, okay? I'm not going to say anything else. Listen, I don't listen. You can say old age. That's fine. I'm not gonna tell you I know the answer. I'm just gonna tell you that we've had way too many people pass, and with very little explanation, and perfectly healthy, and then bang, gone. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna tell you that is alarming. I'm not saying Diane Keaton tonight, but I'm just telling you. I know that some of you agree with me, and some of you are probably afraid to even talk about it because it scares you, and I understand that. I'm not saying that it should be something you should be excited to discuss, but that's what I do here. I don't sit here and pretend that we have this situation that they're telling us. I'm going to tell you what the reality of the situation is. That's my job, okay? Let's watch a scene from Annie Hall. Listen, I don't want to get into Woody Allen and the politics and what he did. No. We're going to talk about Annie Hall. We're going to talk about this scene. If you haven't seen it before, this is a movie about relationship that didn't work. It's the pre-Harry Met Sally. Woody Allen, man, I'm telling you, I don't know what his legacy is going to be when he finally passes, but you can't argue with me that he's made some classic films. I remember my parents were watching Sleeper. I said to we had the babysitter that night. My parents were going out, and I said, "What are you guys going to see?" And they said, "Sleeper." What? I got a little kid. I'm like, "What's Sleeper?" Like, it's a Woody Allen movie. I go, "Oh, who's Woody Allen?" But I remember that conversation. But this scene from Annie Hall is just brilliant. Let's watch a bit. Diane Keaton, rest in peace, 79 years old. And here's a bit of Annie Hall.
I mean, you don't have to,
No, I know, but I'm all perspired and everything.
Well, didn't you take a shower at the club?
I mean, no, because I never shower in a public place.
Why not?
Because I don't like to get naked in front of another man, It's
Oh, I see.
I don't like to show my body to a man of my gender.
Yeah, I see, I guess.
You never know what's going to happen.
15 years, huh?
15 years, yeah. That's...
Oh.
God bless.
Okay, the awkwardness, right? Nails that. But wait, this is where the film, and this was ahead of its time. Watch the bottom of your screen as Alan inserts some subtitles.
Well, you're what Grammy Hall would call a real Jew.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, she hates Jews. She thinks that they just make money. But let me tell you, I mean, she's the one. And is she ever? I'm telling you.
It's coming up any second now. It's been forever since I watched this film.
So, did you do those photographs in there or what?
There it is.
Yeah, I sort of dabble around,
They're wonderful. They have
right, the subtext. What's being said and what's actually being said in the subtitles.
a quality.
Well, I would like to take a serious photography course.
Photography is interesting because, it's a new art form and a set of aesthetic criteria have not emerged yet.
Aesthetic criteria? You mean whether it's a good photo or not?
The medium enters in as a condition of the art form itself.
And how brilliant is that, right? As they're having this conversation, this is what I'm thinking. This is reality. We're talking about artwork, but in reality, I'm like, does she like me? He's kind of weird. He's kind of cute.
Well, to me, I mean, it's all instinctive, I mean, I just try to feel it, I try to get a sense of it.
And one of the things you see here from Diane Keaton is she's just a natural beauty, right? You talk about often with actresses, the girl next door. Diane Keaton was that. You can see it right here, going all the way back to 1977. And you look at her career, and I pull up
Me?
Goldie Hawn.
No.
Was on Instagram, and let's look at what she had to say here. Actually, Jane Fonda first. It's hard to believe or accept that Diane has passed. She's always a spark of life and light, constantly giggling at her own foibles, being limitlessly creative in her acting, her wardrobe, her books, her friends, her homes, her library, her worldview. Unique is what she was, and though she didn't know it or wouldn't admit it, man, she was a fine actress. I think we can all agree. Diane Goldie Hawn talking about her. Diane, we weren't ready to lose you. You've left us with a trail of fairy dust filled with particles of light and imagination, memories beyond imagination. How do we say goodbye? What words can come to mind when your heart is broken? You never liked praise, so humble, but now you can't tell me to shut up, honey. There was and will be no one like you. Diane Keaton, dead at the age of 79. Thanks for being here tonight, guys. Always a pleasure. And I will read as many comments as I can when the stream is over. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's always a pleasure, man. It really is. I think what we do is different than anybody else, and it's never going to change. That's what MMT is. I want you to have a good week. I'll see you back here on Thursday for the box office preview show. Good night.